Every day, the pianist pretended to be blind and came to the rich woman's house to play the piano, because only in this way, he could peep at the rich woman openly and let the rich woman let down her guard against the invisible him. To make himself look more like a blind man, whenever he goes out, he puts on his dark black sunglasses and carries a small stick in his hand to find his way. Little did he know that it was because of her blatant peek that he almost lost his life. That day, he came to the rich woman's house as usual to play the piano, but the rich woman saw him, but let him come again another day. At first she was not aware of the danger, claiming that she had come and had to finish the task. Looking at each other as blind, the rich woman had to bring her home. At first the man did not know what was going on, but as soon as she sat down on the bench, she found a dead body lying on the ground. Only then did the man know why the rich woman did not let her in. In order to hide the fear of the heart, the man had to pretend to continue to play calmly, looking at the rich woman always standing in front of himself. The panicked man hurriedly said he wanted to go to the bathroom. The rich woman did not think much, directly supported the man to go to the bathroom, but when she walked in, she completely panicked, because the murderer was hiding in the bathroom at this time. At this time her heart was in her mouth. Fortunately, after pretending to be blind for a long time, the murderer did not find anything wrong with him, but when he came out of the toilet, he found that what was lying on the ground was not someone else, but the rich man who hired him. After realizing that it is not suitable to stay here for a long time, the man quickly played the piano for him, and at this time, the two began to deal with the scene, but the man played the piano, and the murderer pushed the rich to leave. After walking out of the rich woman's home, the man quickly came to the police station to call the police, but when he came here, he found that the chief was the murderer. The man had no choice but to lie that his cat was lost and ask them to help him look for it. In order not to cause the rich woman suspicion, 4 men came to the rich woman's home again to play the piano. How to expect the elevator door just opened, she found a terrible scene. In order to save their lives, men can only pretend to see nothing. Women are already suspicious of his identity. In order to find out whether the man is really at a loss, this day the woman quietly followed the man came to her house, saw the other side is the murderer of the old lady. The man was instantly scared and shivered. How to expect the woman is specifically to thank the man, because she thinks she plays the piano is particularly good, but also specially brought the local specialties to the man. In order not to cause suspicion, the man had to swallow, then pretending to calm came to make tea. How? The teacup just put on the table, the rich woman blatantly took out the poison into the man's cup, realizing that the other party is trying to kill the mouth. The man directly pretended to accidentally touch the cup. The rich woman saw this scene, immediately took out a pistol and pointed it at the man, then fired several shots at the man, and finally the man exposed himself due to excessive shock, but fortunately there was no bullet in the gun. Seeing that the matter had been exposed, the man hastened to promise not to tell his story. But before the words were finished, his eyes suddenly went dark, and then a center of gravity was unstable and fainted. The original rich woman just entered the door, handed her local products are actually toxic, and when the man wakes up, she actually found that she really can't see. No doubt the rich woman had turned her into a real blind woman. That is, the man became really blind, but the director who killed the rich was still a little worried, so he quietly came to the man's house and directly wanted to put him to death. Fortunately, the man is very familiar with the facilities at home. An electric iron fell on the director, escaped from the home, but because he could not see the road at this time, she could only touch the roadside guardrail all the way forward. How unexpectedly suddenly hit the roadside pole, fainted directly to the ground, until the man woke up again, she inexplicably lying in a hospital. The other party claimed here is a regular hospital, will help him treat his eyes, but when she lies on the operating table, only to know that the other side is not to help him treat his eyes, but a black clinic specializing in cutting kidneys. Frightened, she immediately got up and struggled desperately, but with the injection of anesthetic, she gradually fell into a coma. But the strange thing is that when the man wakes up, her waist is still on. The original nurse, because of soft heart, finally asked for love for the man. After knowing the truth of everything, the man without a word to $10 million of the doctors and nurses will be brought into the group. As long as it is successful, he will pay immediately. They first tied up the rich woman, and then let the director with $10 million to abandon the building. When the director, in accordance with the requirements of the huge money, into the elevator, the director immediately rushed upstairs to save the rich woman. As a result, he just ran to the top of the building, found the robber holding the rich woman, and finally the director did not fall a good end. When he walked on the elevator instant power outage, trapped him inside. The chief of gas to the outside is crazy, shouting. He wanted to shoot the elevator door open. Unexpectedly a mistake let the bullet rebound, or himself sent to the northwest. At this time, the rich woman in the building broke free of the bondage. The doctor who drew his blood is a fat beat. Watching the doctor will die. The key moment, the man arrived in time, oppressed her on the ground. Then the doctor covered a towel, put him into a coma, and finally stuffed him in the trunk. The doctor wanted to drive to dispose of her. How unexpectedly before departure, she suddenly received a phone call. The other side told the doctor a big deal. That is, there is now an official's daughter in urgent need of a good liver, but because his daughter's blood type is very rare, there is no way for a time After hearing that the other side's blood type is rare B blood, the doctor instantly came to the spirit, because the rich woman in the trunk is this blood type. In the blink of an eye, 2 years have passed, and the man's ex-girlfriend walks by a storefront, only to find that the promotional cover is the ex-boyfriend pretending to be blind. In order to find out whether her ex-boyfriend is pretending to be blind again, she immediately found her ex-boyfriend to ask about the situation. Originally, the man did not have the heart to kill the rich woman, so he pleaded with the doctor, and the result was that the doctor not only did not listen, but wanted to kill her with poison after parking. Did not expect when the doctor got off and could not get on the car, but the rich woman sat on the car. Turns out the rich woman successfully killed the doctor in the trunk. After learning that the doctor had been killed by her, the man quickly explained that the doctor was not a bad person, and did not expect the rich woman to directly drive the man out of the car after listening to her, and then left her alone. But she had not driven far. A blind rabbit suddenly jumped on the window. With a scream, the rich woman died directly in the car accident. Hearing this, the ex-girlfriend said that if she knew that the rich woman was like this, she should have dealt with him long ago. But is this really the case? When the man turned to leave, she knocked the can in front of her 10 meters away with one stick. Yes, the man told a big lie. She is not blind. If blind, how do you know that the rabbit is blind? In fact, the man and the doctor successfully removed the rich woman's liver, and finally deliberately faked a traffic accident. The two end up cheating and splitting all the money they make. This film tells us that hearing is false, seeing is believing. Don't believe the hearsay, what you see is the truth.